What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO Bob Arum has an interesting take regarding one of his top fighters under his stable in undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered the number one pound-for-pound boxer in the world, superstar boxer Terence Crawford. Well, legendary promoter Bob Arum thinks he's anything but a superstar boxer. And Bob Arum deems Terence Crawford difficult to work with. And Bob Arum doesn't like the fact that Terence Crawford's displeasure with the fact that he couldn't secure a massive, mega, lucrative legacy fight with one of the top welterweights or junior welterweights or super lightweights, for that matter, in his career. And he had his lawyer reach out and contact Top Rank's CEO, Bob Arum, and let it be known, and stated that they expressed their displeasure with the fact that Terence Crawford hasn't gotten these fights. And they will be looking forward to being a free agent October of 2021, when their contract expires, right? Bob Arum, he said that this was something that was supposed to take place behind the scenes. And now, Terence Crawford and his team tried to hold a meeting with Bob Arum, a sit-down, and now Bob Arum has declined. Bob Arum doesn't want to see Terence Crawford. He doesn't want to talk to Terence Crawford. He has officially cut the cord between himself and Terence Crawford. And in a meeting not too long ago, Bob Arum did state that he was finished with Terence Crawford. He stated that if his, son-in-law, who helps him run the company now, Todd DeBuff, if Todd DeBuff wanted to, continue business with Terence Crawford, then that's up to Todd DeBuff moving forward. He said, but if it was up to him, he's cutting ties with Terence Crawford. Right? He don't want anything else to do with Terence Crawford. He even stated that Terence Crawford, in his last 3 fights leading up into the Kell Brook fight, he lost so much money on the fight he could build a mansion in Beverly Hills from scratch. That's how much money he lost on Terence Crawford. Right? Bob Arum says that Terence Crawford made it extremely difficult to get the contract and the deal done to fight Kell Brook. And he did not give them any time to promote the fight with the Kell Brook fight, because he was being difficult in signing the contract. He says that Terence Crawford is difficult in doing a deal with former 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Sean Porter. He has no interest in that. He has no interest in facing former unified WBC, WBA welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith One-Time Thurman. He has no interest in dealing or negotiating with current WBA regular champion Cuban superstar boxer Yordenis Ugas, right? He says that the only person he could get Terence Crawford to the negotiation tables for is a fight with undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl of True Spence Jr. and legendary, iconic 8-division world champion Filipino superstar boxer who currently holds the WBA welterweight world champion, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Now, we know, to Terence Crawford's defense, Bob Arum was the one that blocked the Manny Pacquiao fight, right? Bob Arum made that abundantly clear. He blocked it. He says that Manny Pacquiao was a close friend of his. At his advanced age, he didn't want to see Manny Pacquiao possibly get hurt with a young, hungry lion like Terence Crawford. Not to mention, financially, he wasn't willing to pay Manny Pacquiao the big money, $20 million he was looking for, because he just don't think he's worth it. And then Bob Arum pointed to the fact that Manny Pacquiao got $20 to $25 million to fight Adrian Broner, 4-division world champion superstar boxer, once he left Top Rank, HBO, ESPN, to sign with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, and advisor and founder Al Heyman, that Manny Pacquiao got $20 to $25 million for that fight, and he only did 400,000 pay-per-views with Adrian Broner. And he said the fight with Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, he got the same amount of money, and that fight wasn't that successful. So Bob Arum stated that he was just simply happy he didn't have to fit the bill for Manny Pacquiao. And now you just put 2 and 2 together. Bob Arum doesn't think Terence Crawford is a big draw. He doesn't think he's a big sell. So if you place Terence Crawford, who's not a big draw, not a big sell, and is difficult to work with, according to Bob Arum, with a guy like Manny Pacquiao have to pay that much money, and Bob Arum is expecting it not to do big numbers. So he don't believe he can get a return on his investment. Thus the reason why he's not eager to make a fight with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. It's abundantly clear. Terence Crawford also stated that he knew if he wasn't with Top Rank and Bob Arum that he could make these big fights. But yet Terence Crawford also states that he just wants to stay loyal to Top Rank and make as much money as possible. He doesn't hold Bob Arum accountable because he understands Bob Arum is trying to make these big fights. So with that said, essentially Terence Crawford is co-signing what Bob Arum had to say, because Bob Arum says that he's willing to try and make these fights, but Terence Crawford is dragging his feet and he's making it difficult. And Terence Crawford says he understands that Bob Arum is definitely trying to make these big fights. So if you put, both, statements together, it adds up, right? But Bob Arum, too, on the flip side of that, is not willing to pay big money to these premier boxing champion fighters, the PBC fighters. He stated that if Sean Porter accepts a flat fee of $1 million, he would make the deal tomorrow immediately, right? We know Sean Porter is not going to accept a flat fee of $1 million because Sean Porter makes that in his sleep, okay? So why would Sean Porter, for a massive fight with Terence Crawford, accept a $1 million fee when he makes that in his sleep, okay? Just rolling out his bed. He's an analyst on Fox and Showtime and with the PBC. He's also a high-level, high-quality fighter, high-profile fighter. So he makes more than $1 million in his sleep, right? So Bob Arum just doesn't deem Terence Crawford of being worthy of making these big fights and spending big money out his pockets. He even stated that the Errol Spence fight is the biggest lucrative fight he can make for Terence Crawford, but it has to be 50-50, so that way he could at least break even. And he said that he would, until Errol Spence and Al Heyman, agreed to a 50-50, he would just wait them out and let them keep having pay-per-view events and according to Bob Arum, allow them to continue to lose money. So he states that, he would just let them lose money and wait them out, essentially, right? And also with Sean Porter, he said he will allow Al Heyman to win the purse bid, and because Sean Porter is the WBO mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford's belt. So Bob Arum is stating that he would just allow Al Heyman, let Sean Porter put in for file the paperwork to uphold the mandatory position, and thus having Terence Crawford have to face him or be stripped of the belt. He said he would allow it to go to a purse bid, let Al Heyman win the purse bid. Thus, Al Heyman will have to fit the bill, and he will have to pay for the purses. So this just lets you know that Bob Arum doesn't think highly of Terence Crawford being a draw, okay? He don't feel like he's worth spending money on opposition for Terence Crawford, and he's just not going to do it out of his pocket, okay? So Bob Arum, now that Terence Crawford and Team Crawford reached out to him, Brian McIntyre, trainer and manager of Terence Bud Crawford, they stated that Bob Arum declined. He refused to sit down and talk to them. He has nothing else to say. He's done. He stated numerous occasions now, after these comments and everything was revealed, that Terence Crawford was unhappy with his position and the way he was being promoted by Top Rank and not securing these big lucrative fights. Bob Arum said that somebody in Crawford's team leaked that to the public. He had a deal in place that if he wasn't able to secure an Errol Spence fight, for every fight Terence Crawford had, he would add an incentive of $1 million on top of the contract if he can't secure a big fight for Terence Crawford with Errol Spence. And he wanted Terence Crawford to wait for the winner, Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor, at 140 at junior welterweight for undisputed. Whoever moves up wins the fight. Then you could, sell it as the last two undisputed junior welterweight world champions going at it. The winner, Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez versus Terence Crawford. He says that we have a lot of junior welterweights coming up that Terence Crawford could face. But he stated that, he had an incentive that they would give Terence Crawford an extra $1 million for every fight they can't make, the Errol Spence fight. But this got leaked to the public. And Bob Arum is placing his blame on Terence Crawford and Team Crawford. And he says that somebody in that camp leaked this out, and he's not happy with them because that's not how you do business. Brian McIntyre, Bomac, he tried to clean it up. He said it wasn't him. Initially, Bob Arum thought it was Bomac. Bomac said it wasn't him. So Bob Arum's not happy. He said it's not what you do. We had an agreement, and Bob Arum stated that he's done with Terence Crawford. As far as he's concerned, he don't want anything else. He's washed his hands of Terence Crawford. And now you see that Team Crawford reached out to Bob Arum to rectify the situation, and Bob Arum wants nothing to do with it. So Terence Crawford will be a free agent soon. Can't wait to see how this plays out. But this just goes to show that Terence Crawford has no interest in truly leaving Top Rank. He's trying to force their hand to make these big fights. He's comfortable where he's at. He's not completely satisfied, but he's familiar with his position. He's comfortable where he's at, and he's not eager to leave and make these big fights. But Bob Arum is eager for him to leave out the door because he's too difficult to deal with. But let's see how this all unfolds and plays out. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.